So on 3, 2, we're going to find the given 2 points. Remember, the slope is the rise or the run. And what we're doing here, instead of having it on a graph, they actually give us 2 points. Now, this is what we call the slope formula. And notice it's easier when it's in color. But what this is saying that m, remember m is your slope. And this says y sub 2 minus y sub 1 over x sub 2 minus x sub 1. Again, it's the change in y over the change of x. Why do you think they gave us these sub 2 and sub 1? Why do you think they gave us, what do they have as sub 1 and sub 2?
Because there's 2 points?
Good, because there's 2 points. Because we can't just say xy, xy, because we don't know which ones we're talking about. So they labeled, let me see, they labeled this one and this one. So all they're doing is giving us the 2 points. So finding the rate of change, the slope of the line that passes the given points. So now, option 1, again, it's always the change in y over change of x. Now you can go ahead, this is our first point, so we can label that x sub 1 and y sub 1, and the 5 x sub 2, and the 7 y sub 2. Okay. Now, if we want to use our slope formula, we do the change in y first. So that means our y sub 2 minus y sub 1. So we're going to do 7 minus 5 over, now this is where you got to be careful, 5 minus, because it's always the difference, 5 minus a negative 3. Okay, so 7 minus 5 is 2. What's 5 minus a negative 3? Good, 8. Now, can that be simplified? That can be simplified down to 1/4. Anytime you can simplify, simplify. Okay, but just don't ever change it to a mixed number. Okay, and never change it to a decimal. Unless we're talking about money. The rate of change, you wouldn't go around saying you might say 1/4 of a dollar, but, or I'm always earning 1/4 of a dollar. You'd say I'm earning 25 cents each time. Okay, now, all right, so option 2, what this is saying, what happens, do you think it matters if I always start with the second number? So another way you can do this is you could actually start at -8 and then go to -11 as long as you do the 2 and the 5. So you really could, as long as you do the same direction, either way. Okay, so I'm going to make a little line here, so I'm going to show you. Okay, so if you want, you could start off with saying, okay, that's x sub 1, y sub 1, x sub 2, y sub 2. So let's do it their normal, y sub 2 first. So -11 minus a -8. You just watch your negatives there. Over 5 minus 2. Now, what's a -11 minus a -8? If you had 11 negatives and you took away 8 of those negatives. Good. You got a -3. And then 5 minus 2 is +3. Now, what's a -3 divided by 3? Good. -1. Now, this side, I want to try, I'm just going to do the opposite order, but I'm going to keep my y values on top. I'm going to do -8 minus a -11. -8 minus a -11. But then 2 minus 5. What's a -8 minus a -11? Remember, when you subtract, you can add the opposite.
-19.
Okay, careful. You don't want to add. So you have a -8, and you want to take away a -11. but you don't have negative 11 to take away. So this is where you add the opposite. Remember when you subtract? If you add, if you want to add the opposite, now you have a negative 8 plus a negative 11. Plus a negative 11. No, sorry, I said the wrong thing. Negative 8 plus positive 11. To where that's going to be a positive 3. And then 2 minus 5 is a negative 3. And then 3 divided by negative 3 will give you a negative 1. So it doesn't matter. You can go this direction as long as both of them, as long as you always have the y's on top and you go the same direction on both. Okay? But whatever you would do, I would do the same method each time though. Okay? Now, if it's a zero slope, from before, what did you know about the zero slope? In order to be a zero slope, where was the 0 in the fraction? In the numerator or denominator?
Numerator.
Good. So the numerator, if it's a zero slope, 0 is always above that, and then whatever number's down here. Okay, so whatever number's down here, and then 0's in the numerator, that'll be a zero slope. And it'll look like this. It's supposed to be flat, going horizontal. Okay, now here, if it's undefined, it's going to be a number divided by 0. Does anyone have their calculator handy? If you do, I want you to try something. If you have your calculator handy, type in, do 3 divided by 0, and tell me what it says.
It says it can't divide by 0.
Does it say that, or does it say something else?
Mine's on my phone, so it says can't divide by 0.
Oh, it does. Okay. So on the phones, did anyone have, let's see. Oh, yep. Maria typed in error. So if you
On
ever
the phone, yeah, it says error.
Yep. It'll say error in your calculator. Except for, okay, who said about the phone? Victoria, was that you?
It was me. Iris.
Oh, Iris. Okay. Do you have, is it an Android or iPhone?
It's an Android.
Okay. I wondered if it'd be interesting to see if someone else has
iPhone is error.
error. Okay. I was wondering. So error in calculator. Like that's what the calculator will say. When that happens, it's because you can't divide by 0. None of them say undefined, which they should be programmed to say undefined. That'd be better. Okay? So working from 2 points, then we can find the slope that way. Right? Okay, let's try working these 2 points. Okay, so finding the rate of change is the slope of the given points, meaning these are our 2 points, and we're going to find our slope. So again, your change of y over your change of x, which is your y sub 2 minus y sub 1 over x sub 2 minus x sub 1. And if it helps you to label them, to do that then. But negative 3 minus 5 over 4 minus 4. Now, negative 3 minus 5 is a negative 8, and 4 minus 4 is 0, which then don't leave 0. Don't ever leave your answer like that. So what is that? Is that going to be undefined or 0?
Undefined.
Good. That's going to be an undefined slope, meaning if they graphed it, it'd be going straight up and down. Okay. What about these two? So 5 minus 6 and 6 minus 5. All right, so negative 6 minus 5 is 1. And whenever you have 1 in your denominator, you can simplify this just by saying negative 1. Okay, C and D get there. Okay, now in C and D, does anyone have an answer yet for C? Okay, did anyone else get -2? Did anyone else get a different number? Okay, I agree with -2 because 3 minus 9 is a -6. 2 minus a -1. 2 minus a -1. 3, the opposite. Now -6 divided by 3, -2. Okay. D, what did you guys get on D? Good. That's going to be 0. -6 minus a -1. If you have 6 negatives and you take away 1 negative, it's going to be a -5. And then that simplified can be 0. Okay. Now, I'm going to wait on the bottom of this. We're going to do this part on Thursday because I want to wait on the bottom of this because I want to do some practice with finding slope from a graph, a table, and 2 points with your delta math. Okay. I was going to say something else about this and I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, I know. If you're messing up the integers, here's another way you could do this from 2 points. You could, that 1 point, you could make this table, -1 and 2 and 3. So if you're messing up with the integers, then you could say, okay, that's going down 6. This is going up 3. And then -6 over 3 will give you a -2. So if you're having errors with your integers, which we got to work on that anyway, but if it's like, oh, I keep messing these up, then go ahead and make a table with those 2 points. That's fine. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna do, here's a screenshot for the ones who are doing a screenshot. Just know the rest of this we'll work on Thursday. Okay, there's that. Okay, let me do a screenshot of the front page. Am I okay to flip it? And then I want to look at some of the delta math and have you guys work on that while we're all together, because then if you have questions. Okay, so here's the top of the front page of 3.2. Okay, I'm going to stop. I think we're good. You good with that one? Okay, I'm going to stop